I want to talk to you today about the transformative power of rethinking the way organizations work with families as they seek to attain economic mobility. We have to do this now. We've lost the war on poverty. Lyndon B. Johnson launched it over 50 years ago. That means 50 years of government effort, over 2 million charitable organizations working to try to make things better. And we've made very little progress. In fact, the systems we've set up play a major role in perpetuating the problems they're trying to solve. Programs make poverty tolerable, but not escapable. Why? It is because our work is built on the simplistic, flawed idea that we need to bring solutions to communities instead of seeing what is already there. We're working with a fraction of our resources. We have developed a blind spot. Let me tell you about my own blind spot. When I was a senior in high school, I remember feeling exhausted from my family telling me, "We came to this country for better opportunities. You have to go to college." But I had no idea how to get there. In fact, I had never been to a college campus. My family wanted to be very supportive, but they didn't know the rigorous application process for college. Luckily for me, I was involved with a nonprofit organization actually here in JamaicaPlain, the Heights Square Task Force, and there I knew many caring adults that guided me through the way. They supported me. In that time, I applied to several colleges. 4 years later, I graduated from Bentley University. Upon graduation, I started doing work in youth development. I worked with young people on leadership, community organizing, mentoring. Around that time, I came to visit my family, and I saw my sister's report card. I remember thinking, if she wants the college options I had, these grades are not going to cut it. I thought, she needs a mentor. I need to enroll her in a program. I did what everybody does. I started Googling. In that search, I realized, wait, I can do this. I can mentor my sister. I do this for young people every day. Surely I can do it for her. I was so accustomed to looking outside of our own selves for solutions, I almost lost sight of my own power. In fact, that is our blind spot as a sector. We are looking for solutions outside of our communities. We are overlooking the fact that people can and do support each other. By creating organizations as intermediaries between people and resources, we have accidentally made them gatekeepers. In worst-case scenarios, hoarders of resources, of skills, of knowledge, of relationships. We have built a helpful nonprofit sector, but in doing that, we missed a great opportunity for transformative change. When I think of my family story, my family is an immigrant family struggling to adjust to a new country. I think of what were the most important supports for my family. The most important supports were our networks. It is exactly how it is when people come to this country. Networks of people rallying around each other. For example, when my grandmother came here in 1974, the only people she knew were her friends from the Dominican Republic. They opened her home to her and allowed her to stay until they settled. Or when my father came to this country, and banks denied him a loan to start his small business because he had no credit yet, but a friend from his country loaned him $10,000 to get it off the ground. My family is not exceptional, not in what we need or what we did to get there. It's networks of people supporting each other. For my family, social connections was key to moving from poverty and towards economic mobility. I've learned these needs are universal. People have goals. People need connections to work towards them. And they need capital to actually achieve them. Those are the principles that FII was built on. Family Independence Initiative is not a service, is not a program. Family Independence Initiative is a platform. It is an organization that challenges the notion that we have to seek outside of communities for solutions, realizing they are already there and investing in them. Also realizing that people, even poor people, are experts in their own life. People need choice, capital, and connections. I will describe what I mean by this. Choice. One size rarely fits all. We need varied options. We need to be able to make decisions on what is best for our life and our situation. That is why Family Independence Initiative staff does not direct families. Instead, we learn from them. Capital. The difference between a low-income family and an upper-income family is as simple as it sounds. Money. We need access to it in order to really make strides forward. And connections. We all know the importance of networks. We need people. Peer-to-peer mutual support and accountability is often the most effective intervention, and we make space for that. How does this work? It's actually very simple. On the ground, this looks like when families join FII, they share their goals, they identify a network of people to support each other in achieving these goals, and they give FII permission to learn from them. The way we learn from families is families give us data on a regular basis, and we're learning about their ideas, we're learning about their initiative, we're learning about their progress. And with that information, we create resources that invest back into what they're already doing. These resources look like scholarships for education, matched investments for businesses or home ownership. They look like zero-interest loans, formalized lending circles, very small investments that yield enormous results. FII came to Boston in 2010, and since then we have grown to partner with over 700 households in Boston. These households are all working towards and achieving their goals. As a collective, we're seeing gains. We're seeing families increasing on average their savings by 187%, their income by 27%. They're making strides in education, in health, and in other areas that they care about. And they're not just achieving their goals, they're making ripples in the community. Let me tell you a story. Teresa came to FII with a host of goals. At the top of her list was supporting her daughter Brianna in school. Brianna was struggling in school. Teresa organized parents to support each other. They shared resources, they learned best practices together, and they just supported each other. I often talk about this work to talk about the significance of groups coming together. But I had a conversation with Teresa, and she shared how this impacted her. She shared Brianna is now doing amazing in school. She's scoring in the 90th percentile. In fact, the school shared that they wanted to remove some of the extra support and services she was receiving, and Teresa said no, not yet. Teresa shared, it's funny, the school used to tell me what to do with Brianna. Now I tell them. I've gained expertise that allow me to see choices I never knew I had. Teresa is now going to events all across the city, sharing with families, encouraging them. She is making a ripple in Boston. Similarly, my sister is now at Bentley University. She is supporting her younger cousins through mentoring. I know that if everybody here thinks about it, you have stories of people helping and supporting each other. At Family Independence Initiative, we have thousands of those. When people have access to adequate resources, they don't just achieve their goals, they bring others along, and we have to make space for that. Going back to the nonprofit sector, we have so many resources invested, but not enough of them directly in families. We have to change that. I know we all want to be helpful. I want to leave you all with a challenge. in our quest for this help, we have to ensure that our work is designed in a way that fosters and enhances relationships, that we are not getting in the way of the plans people have for themselves or their community, that we direct dollars to families, because everybody needs access to capital, choice, and connections. Thank you.